Hey guys, here's my Ice Lash build. For gearing, I'm using tier 5 Shaman set. For the weapons, I'm using Fang of Leviathan. And then for the offhand, I'm using Blackout Truncheon. I didn't really min-max this, so you can try like other items if you have it. I just took whatever I found in my bank that could be good. So this turned out to be pretty good because it gives me that haste. Then for all the other all pieces, it's just spell power gear. So just take whatever spell power you can get. For REs, we're running Biting Code, Channeled Rage, Freezing Strikes, Demonic Ice Lance, Frozen Power, Spell Impact, Piercing Ice, and Hasty Deep Freeze. So the DPS rotation is pretty easy. I was able to make it a 1-button macro because I like doing 1-button macros. But the idea is to just Stormstrike to proc your Fingers of Frost, and then Ice Lance, and then Ice Lash. Ice Lash will reset your Fingers of Frost to 3 again. And from there you just Deep Freeze, Frostbolt, Ice Lance 3 times, and then repeat. The reason I put Frostbolt after Deep Freeze is because there's a chance to proc Fingers of Frost again. So if you do proc and then you have another 3 stacks, and you can spam Ice Lance 3 times for the guaranteed crit. But if it doesn't proc, it's still okay. But you do need Frostbolt, Ice Lance 3 times, so you'll get Deep Freeze cooldown on time in the rotation. Because we're using the talent Chill to the Bone, whenever you do damage with Frostbolt or Ice Lance, it reduces the cooldown of Deep Freeze by 2 seconds. So you need to have this in your rotation to make sure that Deep Freeze cools down on time and your rotation is smooth. So the AoE you see here is not the actual AoE you'll see in dungeons, because in dungeons, Deep Freeze will stun the enemies instead of doing damage. On the dummies, they can't be stunned, so Deep Freeze does damage, and that's why you see this massive AoE here. I did put a suggestion in the Ascension Discord to just change the way Deep Freeze works. So basically, Deep Freeze will deal damage every time whenever you're in like a PvE scenario instead of stunning the enemies. If you guys want to go upvote it, maybe we'll see that change come. I'll put a link in the description below. It would be pretty cool if Ascension changed this interaction with Deep Freeze. Pretty much opens other ideas for other prospects as well. So yeah, without this change, the AoE for Ice Lash is pretty much non-existent. You just have big single target damage. So overall, Ice Lash is a strong spec in terms of single target damage. I was not expecting to get 20k DPS with it. I think previously, my last video with Ice Lash, I was only getting like 11k, 14k, somewhere around there. So it's nice to see that the buff for Ice Lash was a good buff and we're able to see good numbers coming out from it. Unfortunately, the AoE is lacking, so I'm not going to be playing it for any Mythic Plus dungeons. It's mostly going to be like a Void Reaver spec. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the guide.